Today on the RepubliKen Talk Show, Biden's mistakes have doubled since his time in office. They've doubled. The amount of mistakes that he makes and the times that he gets corrected have just kept increasing. Biden also opposes a bill that makes it so you have to be a proven citizen of the United States to vote in the election. Big surprise on that. Congress is back in session, and Project 2025 has been incorrectly led to be Trump's doing, but it's actually not. We're going to talk about all that in this episode. Welcome back to the show, buddy. I'm your host, Kenneth Glenn, and today, before we get in the episode, I want to let you know that this episode came out a little late. It was supposed to be out yesterday. The problem is I've been working on so many more extra videos because I want to be able to have videos out, because as some of you may know, my wife is currently pregnant and we're about to have the baby, and I want to have videos out. So when that does eventually happen, I can still post content for you guys. I'm not going to be able to post full-length 40-minute episodes like I usually do every day. But I'm going to have some videos out, bigger projects, things like that. So I just want to let you guys know. So if I don't post randomly one day, that's probably why. I will have projects in the future, and I will be posting while my wife's in labor, just not these full-length episodes. And this is also why this episode's a little late, because I've been working on scripts for those videos. Because right after I'm done filming this episode, I'm about to make some more episodes, so I got a pretty busy schedule right now. So, let's just get into it. So, Congress is back. Congress is back in session, and I was curious, what Congress was going to say about Biden's horrendous performance at the debate. Because, as we all know, this was a historically terrible debate. Like, this was awful. It was just such a bad performance on Biden's part. And a bunch of people are still trying to defend him, but it's so bad that a lot of Democrats are actually not defending him. So, this is an interesting article I found. It says here, this is from the Intelligencer. So, yeah. So it says many congressional Democrats on Biden, quote, "It's complicated." So I wanted to look through this with you. With Biden going nowhere, Democrats are moving on to acceptance. Democrats may not believe Biden is the strongest candidate to defeat Donald Trump in November, but there seemed to be a grim resignation on Capitol Hill on Monday night, that none were willing to take the steps that might actually push Biden to drop out. If Democrats simply wave a magic wand to move the president from the ticket, they would. So if they had the magic wand, they would do it. Which I don't know why they're not, because they clearly do. There's a lot of not great Democratic options, but there are many Democratic options that could easily beat Biden out. I mean, let's be real. Most people who voted for Biden did not vote for Biden because they liked Biden. Most people who voted for Biden wanted to vote for Biden because he wasn't Trump. Which is probably the biggest problem with Biden, is that he's not even a liked candidate. I guarantee you right now, if Bernie Sanders were to step in, he would destroy Biden in the polls. But for some reason, they're not doing it. There's many reasons why you could say this. Maybe it's because the Democrats have been pushing Joe Biden for so long, and by stepping up, they'd be admitting that they were wrong from the start. Who knows? One thing we got to admit, though, is that it was highly irresponsible for the Democrats to push Biden and to support him and all that, because not only is it irresponsible on like the presidency and the impact on the country, But it's just irresponsible on the policies that get pushed and things that get done. It's just super irresponsible because you could have really screwed something up here. You could have. It's like hiring somebody for a job that doesn't know how to do the job. It's like let's just say there's a guy who you hire to be a firefighter, but he's never fought fires before and he doesn't even know what to do. It wouldn't be a good idea to have him be the leader of the fire department, but that's basically what the White House did. They took a guy who was terribly unsuccessful throughout his whole entire political career. He's been in politics for 40-something years. Okay, 40, I don't remember exactly what the number was, but he's been in politics for 40-something years, and he hasn't done anything super great. He hasn't done anything like super impressive in that time. He hasn't done much. And the Democrats keep pushing him, which is just irresponsible, because not only are they now going to look bad, but it just makes our whole country look bad. It's just not a good idea to do that. The article continues as the fretting was based on the calculus that while Biden was likely to lose if he remained on the ticket, an unsuccessful effort was oust him would just widen the margin of defeat and the resulting down ballot casualties. Many took an abstract view of the process as if it was some intellectual question that needed to be worked out on a blackboard. Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland, the same state that had the leader of the LGBT community in that state, the LGBTQ Democrats, was caught for pedophilia. Off topic, but not really off topic. But anyway, so he told reporters that I think we are having an important national conversation, and I am confident that the president will make a decision in the best interest of the country. Oh, yeah, Biden would make the best decision for the country. He wouldn't just, give more money to Ukraine or fund a garbage war that means nothing to us, or not help out our civilians at all, or get rid of a bunch of jobs. No, he would only do what is best for the country. There is no sense that Biden was already announced that decision a number of times, including hours before in a letter by congressional Democrats, and again during a phone interview with Morning Joe. Vandalism gripped the Democratic Party on Monday, fueling a desire among many to resolve all of this quickly. What's going to look really bad on the Democrats is so Biden won the first election because most people saw Trump's first presidential run. His run as president, his reign as president. And people were like, I didn't like how he talked. I didn't like what he did. I don't like whatever. Whatever reason you didn't like him. So then they voted for Biden because he wasn't Trump. But if Biden loses the re-election against Donald Trump, that would prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that Biden was always the worst pick over Trump, and that Trump was always the better pick over Biden. Even in 2020, Trump would have been the better pick. It already looks bad on Biden, because most people who voted for Biden in the initial election, which, by the way, most people pre-voted in that election, which I've always thought is stupid. You should never be allowed to pre-vote. Oh, the first debate happened, we can vote now. That's stupid. You shouldn't be able to do that. But anyway, the main majority of people who voted for Biden said that they wouldn't have done so if they knew that the Hunter Biden scandal wasn't Russian disinformation. because the media did such a great job hiding the crap against Joe Biden. They did such a great job. Like, oh, Biden didn't do this, Biden didn't do that. It's like they did a great job hiding this stuff. And people were like, yeah, if I knew that that was the case, then I wouldn't have voted for Biden. Which, like I said, that's the sad reality, that people would already have not voted for Joe Biden if it wasn't for that case. Like I said, that was like 60 to 80%. Like, that's a large majority. Quote, the longer it lingers, the worse it's going to be in November. Only Joe Biden could really decide to remove himself from the ticket and bearing a shocking return of events, or shocking turn of events. He wasn't going to relinquish that grip. So I think Biden should relinquish that grip. Not only, well, I'm not really worried about it, because I already know Trump's going to win the election. He's already up in like pretty much every poll. Okay, most Democrats are against Biden right now. Like, the Democrats are in a bad position. Most people have woken up and go, yeah, no, this is bullcrap. Trump's the better pick. So then, I'm not really worried if Biden steps down or not. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. I already know Trump's winning this if he doesn't step down, so I don't really care. What's going to happen, though, is that the Democrats are going to lose a lot of their credibility if Biden doesn't step down. If Biden steps down and goes, oh, I never rematched Trump, so it's whatever. I never went against Trump, so my legacy is safe. I beat Trump. Trump never beat me. My legacy is secured. At least in the history books. The history books are just going to say Biden beat Trump, whatever. And then they're going to say some lying bullcrap, because that's what history books do. But that's what history does. But if Biden doesn't quit and doesn't step down and doesn't like, hey, I know I can't do this anymore, let's go. Which, by the way, he's already admitted that he's not the same guy as he used to be. But if he doesn't step down, his legacy is going to get destroyed. The credibility of the Democrats is going to get destroyed because they're the ones pushing this guy for so long. In the meantime, the media feeding frenzy continued. The tougher it would be for Democrats in competitive races. After all, the last thing Democrats want to do is spend day after day answering questions about Joe Biden's cognitive abilities. And until there is a definitive resolution, they wouldn't have a choice. There would be no open convention, no Sorkin Squire sacrifice, just another grim 4 months of plodding along with a flawed nominee. One senior Democratic aide invoked the T.S. Eliot line that became a cliche long before Biden was even born. This won't end with but a bang, but a whimper. So, a lot of Democrats in the Congress responded differently than I imagined they would. I was expecting the Democrats to be like, oh, no, we don't want him anymore. But, you know, I was wrong. I mean, some of them definitely were like, yeah, they need to get changed or whatever. But I'm definitely really surprised that it's not higher. All right, moving on. So, Biden has errors, as we all know. He has these gaffes. He has these different errors that he makes while he's speaking, which is all right. It's whatever. Like, everybody makes mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes when they speak. It's not usually that big of a deal. However, Biden has done it so much. It's been such a big problem with Biden. It's even come to the point where you could literally make like hour-long compilations of Biden's like mistakes. It's just wild. And it's not even mistakes without the teleprompter or with a teleprompter. It's everything. He'll make mistakes with a teleprompter, without a teleprompter, everything. So this comes from the Daily Wire. Biden speaking errors. Biden speaking errors doubled in last year. So I'm guessing he meant in the last year. Whatever. Analyst of official transcript corrected. Analysts of official transcripts corrections fines. So this is what an official. This is like officially and analytically. So this is great to see. Remember that article that came out a while ago where it's like Trump's lies counted? He said over 35,000 lies in office. It's like you guys probably say way more than that. Whatever. Anyway, moving on. It's not important. The White House's own official transcript suggests that Joe Biden speaking errors have grown steadily worse with his rates of missteps doubling in the last 12 months, leading to the disastrous debate performance in June. White House staff tasked with preparing scripts of his speeches and remarks crossed out Biden's erroneous words, or insert the words he should have said using brackets. They had to do that a staggering 51 times in May. The rate of errors per word spoken was one of the worst of his presidency, which is saying a lot because he's been pretty bad. And he's whisked out of public eye for much of June. As you can imagine, as you can imagine, it wasn't a great look for him during the debates. Plus, he was doing a bunch of debate prep and stuff like that. And Biden just hasn't really been in the public eye that much as it is. Biden hasn't been in the public eye for that much in this election cycle, during his presidency in general. Like, when was the last time you watched Biden at a press conference answering questions, going, "Hey, you." Like, Trump did that all the time. Trump would literally wake up and do a 47-minute speech, and then answer 476 questions, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna play golf now. Dude, Trump did that every single day for 4 years. And then Biden's he has a speech every month. He has a speech once a month or whatever. And it's a 5-minute speech because he can't do a speech longer than 20 something minutes. And then, he doesn't even answer the press. Every time he's just walks right off the stage. He's pushed off the stage. It's just super weird. Speaking only half of the numbers of words in official remarks that he normally does. Oh wait, let me go back so you guys know what I'm talking about. And he was whisked out of the public eye for much of June, speaking only half the numbers of words in official remarks that he normally does. Until, of course, his cognitive difficulties captured the world's attention on June 27th debate. In the animated graphic below, the red bars represent the rate of his speaking errors, which is 10,000 words spoken, which is per 10,000 words spoken, in 12 months leading up to that, with the trend increasingly steadily upwards as a graphic cycle through each month. It displays a modified language in official transcripts with some of the most Ignoraneous quotes. That's a new word. Never seen that one before. Whatever. With his most ignoraneous quotes, highlighted in larger text at the bottom. So then we got a graphic here. It says Biden speaking areas over time. Here's the rate in which the White House has to fix Biden's speech or misstatements when preparing official scripts each month and what they changed. So there's just a huge list. I'm not going to go through all of these right now because there's just a ton. But yeah, there's a graphic and it just shows there's list like so list like holy smokes, actually no. The list is like that long and it's like 8 font. So it's just like a bunch of mistakes. So anyway, in June of 2023, the White House corrected 33 errors amounting to the error rate of 3.2 words per every 10,000 words. The 51 errors in May led to the rate of 7.2 for that month when he spoke 70,000 words. The corrections have continued. On Friday in Madison, Wisconsin, Biden addressed the concerns about his age by saying, "They are trying to push me out of this race. Well, let me say this as clearly as I can. I'm staying in the race. I will beat Donald Trump. I will beat him again in 2020." This has been a famous clip that has gone around on social media. And then after that, Biden's like, "Oh, and we'll beat him again in 2024. It was just like kind of weird. The speeches and remarks transcript captures how he spoke at nearly 400 official events, about one per day, and they do not include every utterance. But the transcripts are prepared in a standard way that makes it possible to objectively compare them over time. The officially designated errors suggest that the man overseeing a multi-million-dollar budget multi-trillion-dollar budget has difficulty communicating numbers. He routinely says numbers are off by multiple orders of magnitude, while an awareness of basic fact, such as the size of federal budget or the population of the country, would seemingly alert the speaker that they could be right, or they could not be right. He also repeatedly fails to distinguish the debt from deficit, which are different terms, which have different meanings, which is true. So, for example, one of the quotes says federal deficit by $7 billion, and it's actually $1 trillion. I still got, and then it says 136 million people's debt relieved, but it was supposed to say 3.6. So basically what Biden said originally was, I've literally relieved every single person's debt in America who has debt. I've relieved all of their debt, because like that's pretty much half of America, and most of America are children. But whatever. Today, 720 million Americans. There's only 270, but whatever. But there's so many different mistakes that Biden has been caught doing, and it's kind of interesting to see that he's literally had a steady decline, actually. And he's actually had more as of recently, but that makes sense. It's going to go up. What's really sad is that people keep pushing for this guy to be in office, even though it's just sad because people are pushing this guy to be in office again for another 4 years when he literally couldn't do that. Which means he might spend the rest of his life in the White House. And I said this once in my other video, but Biden, like Joe Biden when he was 40, would have been pissed if he found out what you guys were going to do to him. The Democratic Party, what his voters were going to do, he would have been super pissed if he found out that you guys were just going to abuse him when he got older. He would not have been happy at all. He probably would have left the Democratic Party. But anyway, we're going to move on from that. So, Biden formally opposes the bill requiring voters to vote. Requiring voters to prove citizenship. So there's a bill that I made a video about recently that said that basically this new bill is going to make it so citizens can only vote. Not illegal immigrants, not anything like that. And I made a video about it. It's called, like, This Bill Will Save America. I made it, I don't know how long ago, like a month ago or so. And basically, they passed a bill which makes it so, or many states are passing these bills where it'll force people to prove their citizenship. The article says, President Joe Biden formally rejected on Monday a bill that in Congress that would require individuals to prove U.S. citizenship to vote in elections for federal office. Big shocker there. Biden opposing people that only live in the country to vote, that only legally live in the country to vote. Weird. The same guy who opened up the borders and flooded people in here doesn't want the people who he let in here to vote. Or doesn't want those people to not be allowed to vote. Weird how that works. Weird. A policy statement from the Biden administration said that it strongly opposes the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, or the SAVE Act, as we made a video on recently, which was introduced by Chip Roy, a Republican from Texas, earlier this year, and is expected to get a vote in the Republican-led House as early as this week, but did not mention the prospect of a veto. It is already illegal for non-citizens to vote in federal elections. It is a federal crime punishable by prison and fines. The alleged justification for this bill is based on easily disproven falsehoods, the statement said. Additionally, making a false claim of citizenship or wrongfully voting in an election is punishable by removal from the United States and permanent bar to admission. So here's the problem with that. So is illegally immigrating here. Illegally immigrating here is also illegal and would also get you deported. But you also haven't done that. Come on, guys. They wouldn't actually do that. That's illegal. Your Honor, my client did not rob that bank. That would be illegal. It's based on easily disproven falsehoods. Oh, falsehoods, you say? We shouldn't pass this bill because it's already illegal. I don't get it. It's already illegal, so there's no point to make them required to have proof of citizenship. You want to know why he doesn't want this happening? Because if they actually had to prove their citizenship before they're allowed to vote. So here's the big picture here. Here's what's wrong, right? Right now it's already illegal to vote if you're an illegal civilian here. If you're an illegal alien in this country, it is already illegal for you to vote. However, you can still vote. Most places don't even check your ID. I know a guy who voted in one of the recent elections here, and they weren't registered at all. They just like walked in. They don't even check your stuff. Like it just happens. And so, with that being said, you're saying here that it's illegal for them to vote. You know what that also means? That they can still vote, but in order for them to not vote, they'd have to get caught. So they'd have to be caught illegally voting. But if they've already voted, then you have a whole nother issue. Now you have like, hey, did their vote get counted? Then you have to actually charge them or whatever. If you just at the gate go, hey, you're not allowed to vote, show me your ID, that's where you stop the crime. Okay, why do you think we have IDs for like alcohol? Have you thought of that one, smart guy? Come on, guys. We shouldn't mandate stores to have IDs for cigarettes and booze. Come on, guys. Are you kidding me? It's already illegal for kids to buy alcohol. Come on, guys. It's already illegal. Let the kids buy the booze. It's already illegal. If they get caught, they'll get arrested. How about no? Because what if we don't actually catch them? How about we just make a law where they have to show ID first? Oh, come on, guy. That's based on falsehoods. No one actually does that. You want to know why it's easily disproven? Why this is an easily disproven falsehood? Because they haven't caught anyone doing it. You don't actually know. They haven't caught anyone doing this. While some manipulates it, as a few states and Washington, D.C. allowed non-citizens to vote, in local elections, Republicans have argued the SAVE Act, which would, holy smokes, what is going on here? Which also would push states to remove non-citizens from voter rolls from federal office. At any time, upon receipt of documentation or verified information that would restrain is not a United States citizen, is needed to combat the ongoing border crisis to store up election integrity. So currently, they're saying that this is just a disproven falsehood. But you know what we haven't had since, this whole border crisis? A major election that everyone voted in. That's what we haven't had. We haven't had a big election that everyone votes in. We haven't. We just haven't. So you can't really prove that either. Because there's a new wave of people in the country. You can't prove that this is some falsehood when it's most likely not a falsehood. Alright, we're going to move on to the next thing. I'm done with that topic. So, this is the topic I really want to get into. So for the last few weeks, in a desperate attempt to bounce back from the terrible disaster that happened at the debates the other day, the left has been pushing this idea of this radical agenda that Trump is pushing, that Trump is a part of, that Trump wants when he's in office. This it's a super dangerous agenda that pushes the idea of like banning no fault divorce. Ooh, scary. The BBC even has a headline that says Project 25, a wish list for the Trump presidency, or for a Trump presidency. Mark Hamill and many other leftists have also been pushing this, but it's all a lie. Okay, this whole thing is a lie. Trump not only has nothing to do with Project 2025, but he outright said that he doesn't support it, which is the funniest part. It's kind of like the whole you didn't denounce white supremacy thing. It's that whole thing all over again. Remember that was a huge thing in the last election. Trump never denounced white supremacy. Trump never denounced white supremacy. It was like a mainstream belief. It was such a mainstream belief that like it was even being taught in schools, for crying out loud. It was such a mainstream belief and thought when you could literally look up the facts on YouTube and you could see it right there. But for some reason it was still being pushed. This is the new white supremacy thing for Trump. Project 2025, Project 2025. Wow, big shocker. He has an agenda. Wow. Fun fact, it's not even his agenda. He even said it on his own Twitter, which just shows you that Democrats have such a low IQ, such a low level of thinking, that they can't even double check something. Like, I double check every single thing I hear. I double check, triple check, quadruple check everything. I don't let one claim get past me and go, oh yeah, that's true or whatever. I double check everything. That's why my beliefs don't align with anyone else's. That's why my beliefs go against the grain. Because when you actually double check your stuff and actually research things, you learn that not everything you see is true. For example, okay, I don't believe that Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. It just didn't happen. I'm sorry, he didn't do it. Actually read into it and look into it, he didn't do it. Sorry, he didn't do it. The whole disrespect situation. Everyone's like, oh, he's a pedophile, he's a pedophile, he's a pedophile. No, he's not. He's not. There's already been an investigation. They found nothing. Okay? Oh, but he admitted on Twitter. He admitted to texting a minor. That doesn't make you a pedophile. Texting a minor doesn't make you a pedophile. If solely texting a minor made you a pedophile, then, everybody's parents would be technically a pedophile because they text minors on a regular basis, also known as their own children. But let's not get too sidetracked on this. So basically, Trump actually does have an agenda. It's not Project 2025, but it's Agenda 47, which many other media outlets have also lied about and tried to twist and be like, oh, Trump's trying to do this and trying to do that and trying to do that, which is a lot of stuff that you're saying is also not true. Here, we're going to go through Trump's actual Agenda 47 and see what he actually wants to do during his presidency. And one thing I want to say before we get into this, when you look at Trump, we don't have to imagine what a Trump presidency would look like because we've already seen one. We've already lived through Trump's presidency before. So with this stuff, we don't have to speculate and like, oh, what if? We've already seen it. So we could probably guess that what we saw the first time is what we're going to see the second time. It just makes sense. So, first one. President Donald Trump declares war on cartels. Joe Biden prepares to make his first ever trip to the southern border that he deliberately erased. President Trump announced that when he is president again, it will be the official policy of the United States to take down drug cartels just as he took down ISIS, or just as we took down ISIS. And like I just said, if you got to look back at his original presidency, what did he do? This is probably the case, because, that's probably the case. He literally took down ISIS, he killed the leader, stuff like that. So, yeah, that's also a good thing. Most people would agree that cartels are a bad thing. Agenda 47, this is the second one. It says, ending veteran homelessness in America, which is another good thing. That No one's going to argue with that. That's a good thing. Can we agree on that? President Donald Trump will make it a personal mission to totally eradicate veterans' homelessness in America. No welfare for illegal aliens. This is another good thing. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this. This is the part where you start getting disagreements. People going, well, they're still people. No one's illegal. Whatever, yada, yada, yada. But this is what Trump has to say. He says President Trump will end welfare for illegal aliens and defend the wealth of hardworking American families. Now, illegal aliens being on welfare might not be the biggest issue. It's still an issue. So, it might not, a large percentage of illegal immigrants actually do work in America, but some of them don't. So, like I said, that's still a good idea. The idea that we give money to illegal immigrants for them to do nothing is just ridiculous. I think that's completely stupid. The American Academy. So this is the fourth one, I think. Yep. No, this is the fourth one. President Trump announces a plan to revolutionize higher education by shifting aggressively large endowments from private universities towards new institutions called the American Academy. I've been pushing for this for a while, actually. We need to go after college endowments because I think colleges make way too much money on endowments alone. And it's not a taxed income. It's just money that they get. And I don't know, for example, Yale, I think. It's either Yale or Harvard. But they make, one of them makes $44 billion every year off of endowments. And it's ridiculous. You should not make that much money off of, donations and not have to pay taxes on it. That's ridiculous on me. To me, that's ridiculous. President Trump's message to the America's auto workers. What's happening to our auto workers is an absolute disgrace and an outrage beyond belief. Auto workers are getting completely ripped off by crooked Joe Biden and also their horrendous leadership. So Trump's a blue-collar kind of guy. If you read Donald Trump Jr.'s book, Triggered, you'll see some of that in there, which is a great book. You should just read it. Triggered by Donald Trump Jr. You should read the book. It's a good book. You'll learn a lot from it. President Trump's pledge to homeschooled families. In the new Agenda 47 video, President Donald J. Trump, which, by the way, you go on Trump's website, this is all on here. You can read it yourself. You can watch all of his videos on his plans. I'm not going to go through all the videos on here because it'd be like a 3-hour long video. But this is all on his website. You could look it up. I can link it in the description if you want. It's called donaldtrump.com/agenda47. It's not. You can look it up and look at it yourself. In a new Agenda 47 video, President Donald Trump promised to serve as a champion for America's homeschooled families. I'm not sure what that means, but seeing as it's Trump, I'm not against it. Well, maybe I'm against it. I don't know. But no, Trump. I know Trump's going to do something good with that because the whole school choice thing, like I said, everything Trump's pushing, you could always look back at his original presidency and look back and see how that went. And if you liked how that went, you could be like, hey, I probably like how this is going to go too because Trump's a pretty decent president. He's definitely the best president in my lifetime. I also haven't been alive for that long, so that doesn't say much. But it doesn't mean he's not a great president. I'm just saying. Agenda 47, Trump's 10 principles for great schools leading to great jobs. I'm not sure what that is. That doesn't sound like anything he's going to be pushing or anything. America must have the lowest cost energy and electricity on Earth. We're just going to speed run through the rest of these. returning production of essential medicines back to America, and ending Biden's pharmaceutical shortages, which sounds pretty good. President, oh my goodness, it's been a long week. President Trump calls for the death penalty of human traffickers. Sign me up. I will do that job for free. You wouldn't even have to pay me. I would do such a good job at that. You wouldn't have to pay me. I'll even bring my own equipment. Like, I got plenty of stuff I can use to do that. Like, please pick me. I'll do it for free. You wouldn't even have to pay me. I'll do it as a service. Let me be the guy that gives the death penalty to human traffickers. Rescuing America's auto industry from Joe Biden's disastrous job-killing policies. This is similar to what he just said recently, or in the last couple ones I read. Rebuilding America's depleted military, protecting students from the radical left and Marxist manics, infecting our educational institutions. I wonder if he's going to be like, for many years, the tuition of colleges and universities have been exploding. I mean, exploding while academics have been oppressed with indoctrinating American youth. It's time to come to regrade. Okay, so it's not what I thought it was. I thought he was going to go after like the special interest, like China influence and Iranian influence in our colleges, which is a real thing. You can read about that in Charlie Kirk's book, The College Scam. Protecting Americans by taking on big pharma and ending global freeloading. Cementing fair and reciprocal trade with Trump's Trade Act. Using impoundments to cut waste, stop inflation, and crush the deep state. Addressing rise in chronic childhood illness, which is pretty good. What was it called? I'm trying to think. The right to choose. That was a good act that he passed in his first presidency. Oh, this is what I really want to get to right here. Ending the surge of drug addiction in America. So this was a cool thing that he's been pushing for. And it's kind of neat because if you saw my video on who I think his vice president's going to be, or who's pretty much confirmed to be Trump's vice president, Doug Burgum. If you saw my video on that, you would know that Doug Burgum's good with addiction issues. He's good at solving them. He not only solved the addiction crisis in North Dakota, but he also diversified the economy, which would help Trump with all of these issues that he's pushing for. All right, there's so many here that I can go through. There's literally, I think there's 47 of these, actually, which is kind of funny. So I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to end the video here because, like I said, you can go on the website yourself, look at it yourself, read it into yourself. I actually wanted to encourage you guys to do that because I don't want any of you trusting what you see on the internet. I want you to actually look into things yourself. Don't even trust what I say. Don't even trust everything I say. Even though I go through a grueling fact-checking effort to fact-check my videos, I am still going to be wrong sometimes. I know, big shocker. Even though I spend a bunch of time fact-checking myself and make sure what I say is correct, I can still be wrong. So I want to make sure you guys are getting the right stuff and looking into the right things and reading the right things. So I recommend you do this yourself. Look into it yourself. I'm going to head off. I hope you liked the video, guys. Please leave a comment, subscribe for more. I make videos like this every single day. Well, at least until my wife gives birth. So if you like this content like this, hit the subscribe button. Leave a like, and let me know your thoughts down below. I'll see you guys later. Peace.